Hi guys, when his brother-in-law becomes obsessed with him. John Jungkook married to his best friend Eunwoo, shy, innocent, cute. Kim Taehyung, single, obsessed, anger issues. Cha Eunwoo, friend of Jungkook, now husband. Jungkook, Jungkook, where are you? Eunwoo shouted from living room, picking his office bag. Coming, a breathless Jungkook replied, who came running from the garden, hearing his name as he was watering his plants. There you are. I am going to office. Be ready at 7 p.m. You remember we have to attend a dinner party with my cousins. Eunwoo said as he ruffled Koo's hair, who pouted and mumbled something about messing his hairs. Eunwoo laughed and again messed his hairs and ran from there, saving his life as Jungkook picked umbrella to beat him. Jungkook entered inside Eunwoo's room and the sight gave him headache. The room is totally messy. Clothes on the bed, floor, sofa, snacks wrapper everywhere. He sighed and began cleaning the room. After 1 hour, he made brunch for himself and ate his food alone. He felt lonely. He loved Eunwoo but as a friend. They are tied due to their families and there is no intimate relationship between them. So he wishes for something real, something crazy, something which makes his life fun and interesting. Unaware of a Jungkook, a storm has already landed Korea, which will turn his life upside down. Evening, Jungkook and Eunwoo entered inside the restaurant following a waiter who showed them their dining room. As they entered, Jungkook saw familiar faces and got busy gossiping with them, but time stopped for someone. They watched more like stared at the beautiful enchantress in sky blue dress who had just entered inside. The curl of his lips, the mole beneath it, the pink rosy lips, the small baby hairs falling on his forehead. Gorgeous. The word left his mouth. He waited for him to settle down and soon someone hugged him. His cousin Ja Eunwoo. Then he heard the most shattering news: the beauty Jungkook is married. He smiled fakely to both of them, but his mind had already started to do its job. Picking his phone, he pretended to stay in Seoul for few more days. Hearing this, Eunwoo offered him to stay with them. Perfect, just as he wanted, his silly cousin, so easy to manipulate. He smirked inside. Now the plan begins. So what if Jungkook is married? First time a beauty attracted him and Kim Taehyung wants something, then he get that thing. Simple as that. After that dinner, the three got into Eunwoo's car. Jungkook sat on the passenger seat and Tae settled on the back seat. All the way, Tae's eyes were fixed only on Jungkook, his every movement. Eunwoo left them in front of the main door and drove the car to the parking lot. Jungkook walked fast and Taehyung followed him, but Jungkook can feel stares on his back. They entered the living room and Tae sat on the couch. Jungkook stood there awkwardly as Tae is intensely staring at him. He smiled faintly. Can I get some water, Jungkook? Tae said, to which Jungkook nodded fastly as he is happy to escape the situation. He felt chills on his bare back due to Tae's constant stares because he is wearing a backless dress. He poured water in a glass. He extended his hand, but Tae stood up to take it from his hands. Jungkook stepped back, giving Tae water because Tae's big frame almost hovered above him when he stood up suddenly. He shivered when their fingers met accidentally. They drank the whole water in one go while looking into his eyes. Thanks, Jungkook. Jungkook nodded. Here is his name from the deep manly voice did something to him. He felt a different inside his body. Taehyung can take the guest room. Come, I will show you, bro. So Jungkook lives in main bedroom, Eunwoo in the guest room. That's why Tae gets the guest room near Jungkook's room. Their balcony is connection between these two rooms. Later, Jungkook was doing his skincare unknown of the eyes who were watching him. Tae was hiding behind the curtain in the balcony and watching the beauty with his dark eyes. Jungkook, unaware, lifted his nightgown up, which flowed to his upper thigh, revealing his smooth fair skin. To Taehyung's eyes, Tae gulped down his saliva. Soon Jungkook got up, slid inside the blanket, turning off the lights for sleep. Tae stood there for a while. He heard complete silence as Jungkook's breathing evened out. Tae frowned. Where is Eunwoo? Why Jungkook slept alone? Shaking his head, he wore his slippers to go to the kitchen for some water. There, he found Eunwoo drinking a beer. They smiled at him. Eunwoo nodded and dropped the empty beer can in dustbin. You have not slept yet, Tae? No, just wanted some water. Oh, good night then. I am going to too. Good night, Tae mumbled as he watched Eunwoo's back as he climbed the stairs. Then Eunwoo turned the wrong way, which confused him. He followed him and found that Eunwoo and Jungkook does not share a bedroom. A smile appeared on his face. It means I don't have to separate them. I just have to make Jungkook mine now. Tae looked at his sleeping baby. He looked so peaceful, totally unaware of the hunger Tae is having for him. His blanket is on the floor and his legs spread out like wanting something between them. Taehyung's breathing increasing. He rubbed his hand on his face, too, his bare chest. He groaned loudly when he felt his junior. He placed his one on the edge of the bed and slowly crawls upon the bed between Koo's legs. He moved his face closer to Koo's. His parted lips invited him. So he inched closer and pecked Jungkook. Once, twice, again and again, non-stop. Jungkook's eyelashes fluttered softly as he opened his eyes. They watched for his reaction, but Jungkook just looked into his eyes silently. They placed his big hand on Koo's soft cheeks, but Jungkook stayed silent. So they kissed him, and Jungkook wrapped his hands around Tae's neck, pulling his hair when the kiss turned rough and messy. Tae moved to his neck, playing soft kisses in a trail to his shoulder. He grabbed Koo's teeny waist. Jungkook just moaned softly, his arms wrapped around Taehyung's back, scratching him with his long nails and moving his leg. He paused there to wait for any restriction, but when he did not find any, he slowly moved his hand upwards. He breathed deeply. His lips trailed down towards the softness, and he was ready. But suddenly Jungkook shouted, Tae, Taehyung. Tae startled, sat up on the bed and found Eunwoo standing in front of him. Tae, I am going to a business trip today and returning on Sunday, so can you please take care of Jungkook? Tae's ear perked up hearing that it means he and Jungkook alone in the house for 5 days. Of course, don't worry, I will take care of him, he said. Yes, I trust you, bro, but first you need to fix the problem you have. In whose dream you were lost? Eunwoo teased him, and Tae threw a pillow at him and ran to the bathroom embarrassed. Closing the door, Taehyung smirked. Stupid. If he get to know about whom I was dreaming, then he will be speechless. He turned on the shower head and stood below it. Ah, why, it was a dream. I can't believe I was this close to make him mine. Downstairs, Jungkook was stopping Eunwoo. Jungkook, I really have to go. It's important, and I told you they will be here. That's the problem. Jungkook murmured under his breath as he shuddered, remembering the way Tae's eyes alone with him. Just thinking about it made him shiver. Okay, bye, go. I don't care. I will have so much fun without you here, Jungkook replied. Eunwoo chuckled as Jungkook pouted angrily and he ruffled his hairs and ran, picking his bag as Jungkook picked a fry pan from the kitchen to beat him with it. He entered into his car and rolled down the window and gave a flying kiss to adorable Cookie, who was standing barefoot at the doorstep, and waved him goodbye. As Eunwoo's car rolled down the road, Jungkook sat near his flowers and started plucking them. The glass broke in Tae's hand watching the interaction. The blood dropped fell from his hand, mixing into the water on the floor. Due to the broken pieces got burst into his hands, Jungkook unaware. Do you need something? He asked. You, Tae said in his deep voice, walking to him. What? Ko asked with wide eyes. But Tae entered into Ko's personal space, who, surprised, stepped back, but his legs slipped on the wet soil due to the rain last night. His breath hissed when the manly hand suddenly pulled him forward and his big round collided with Tae's chest. Leave me, Ku spoke up, but Tae pulled him more closer. Ku closed his eyes. You should not walk barefoot, Bun, Tae whispered huskily as his lips were just inches away from Cook. Ko opened his eyes in shock hearing that, and then he noticed that now his feet are placed on Tae's feet. For 1 second he forgot to breathe. Control Tae control, thinking that he picked up Koo in his arm, who placed his arm around Taehyung's shoulder. Let me down, Tae, Koo said, afraid of falling, but Tae remained unfazed, carrying him tightly in his arm, inside, still grabbing Koo's small waist. Entering inside, Tae lowered down Jungkook on the couch after hearing 1,000 protests from him all the way. Flustered, Koo moved his hands to tidy up his disheveled clothes, but his eyes landed on the red stains on his shorts. He opened his mouth to ask Tae about, but his eyes fell on the wound on Tae's hand. He stood up fastly, grabbing Taehyung's hands as tears gathered in his eyes. You are hurt. Tae withdrew his hand back, shrugging. It's nothing. No, you are hurt. Wait, sit, I will bring first aid kit. Wait, Jungkook, no need, Tae yelled from back when Jungkook ran towards kitchen, ignoring his words. Tae was looking down at the pistachio croissant served on his plate with big eyes wide. Then he turned his head cutely towards Koo, who was chewing his food with his puffy cheeks. Then he gulped loudly when Koo stared at him and raised his eyebrow towards him and smiled innocently, showing his teeth, raising his bandaged hand towards Koo, showing him his wounded hand. Koo shook his head at him and, picking the croissant, moving it toward Tae's lip. Tae took a bite and hummed in delight. Why did I ever? Acknowledged his pain. Look, now behaving like a baby. What should I do? How should I make him mine? His rosy pink lips were attracting me so much. I just wanna taste him good, they whispered while rolling on his bed, waiting for Jungkook. Coo! 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 Jungkook moved upstairs, hearing the loud shouting of Tae, while thinking this man has no patience and what's with the nickname? Who gave him the right to call me like this? As he entered, he found Tae sitting on the bed with a glass of wine in his hand. What happened? Why did you call me? Jungkook asked while placing his hand on his hips, staring at Tae intimidatingly. Tae, Ko, actually I was arranging my things in the cupboard, but as you can see, I am hurt. So please help me. He raised his bandaged hand up. That's when Ko noticed the situation of the room, all messy and suitcase lying open on the floor. You are worse than even Eunwoo. What? Shut up, stupid. Let me do the work. Do not disturb. Ko began collecting the things from the floor and soon started placing clothes in the cupboard, but he felt chills on his back. He turned back slowly to find Tae's dark eyes staring at him, and Tae was looking like that he will pounce on Lil Ko anytime. Tae was feeling hot suddenly when Ko bended down in front of him to pick clothes, and the way his hips moved with his fork. He placed the glass at the side table and moved his palm towards his lower area. He closed his eyes in sensation, feeling the heat. He just wanted to grab the small waist and pull him in his bed under him, rolling, trying to run from Tae. But Tae will not let him run. He will capture Jungkook in his arms again. Tae stood up from the bed when Jungkook turned to him and took big steps toward him. Ko's breath hissed when he inhaled Taehyung's body scent plus wine scent due to Taehyung's sudden closeness. I have arranged it. Now I am going. Ko moved towards the gate. Wait. They pulled him closer. Why? Because you have something of mine. Tae's hand moved slowly toward Jungkook's shoulder. He touched Ko's neckline with his long fingers. This is mine, he said, looking at Jungkook's eyes, who looked confused. And then Ko looked at the thing at his hand, shrieking loudly in such. They laughed loudly, looking at the scene. Poor Jungkook, he thought, and picked his underwear from the floor and made his way to the bathroom for some important business. Tae was frustrated because Jungkook was avoiding him from past 2 days, Still, whenever they stood closer to Jungkook, he will move away, or worst, he will straightly run to his room, avoiding him completely. That's also my fault. What was the need to kiss him so early? I should have given him some more time, but my hormones, my needs were so high that I just kissed him. 2 days ago, Tae has helped Jungkook whole day in his work without teasing much, but Jungkook blushed because of the underwear incident whenever they stood too close. Jungkook also felt happy with Tae's company because now he does not feel lonely and Tae is so funny. He likes him. Shh, it's a secret because he is married to his best friend, but he also need love, right? So, what happened was Tay was reading a book sitting in the garden when Koo came to ask him for dinner, but started caring for his plants. And as he turned towards Tay, his long flowy dress got stuck to bench hook where Tay was sitting. He looked at Tay, who helped him removing it, but he stumbled forward and landed directly on Taehyung's lap. His head rested on Tae's neck, his hand on Tae's big shoulder. Instinctively, Tae carefully pulled him closer by his waist. Koo pulled his head up from Tae's neck to thank him, but his words died in his throat, looking at Taehyung's deep eyes. Tae moved closer to his lips, stopping for a second, giving him a chance to pull back, but when Jungkook did not backhand, he captured Jungkook's lips in his own rough ones, kissing Jungkook, breathless, fastly. After kissing, he doesn't stop there. His hand moved to pull Koo's sleeveless dress from one side, kissing his shoulder, biting it, licking it to soothe the pain. Koo was lost, letting Tae do whatever he wants. But then he felt Taehyung's hand on his bare skin on the rise of his chest. Feeling the touch, Koo was pulled back from his daze and he stood up and ran from there inside, leaving a very frustrated Taehyung outside. Now they can't wait. He decided to ask Jungkook what he felt for him because he wants Jungkook now in his life as his own partner, lover, or as a husband. Jungkook was doing his skincare in bathroom but jumped in his place, a hand on his heart when he saw Taehyung sitting on his bed, moreover shirtless. What are you doing here? He crossed his arms and stepped towards bed. Ah, this is so comfy, Tae moaned, laying on his bed. Yeah, get up from here. Jungkook pulled Tae's hand and tried to pull him up, but Tae was stronger, so he did not even move an inch from his position. Jungkook tried many times with all his strength to move him by pulling Tae's hands and legs, and at last, tiredly, he sat on the bed beside Taehyung. Tae smirked and pulled Koo above him. Jungkook landed on his chest, his face near to Taehyung's. He gulped, finding the position scandalous. He tried to stand up, but Tae circled his hands around Koo's body. His one hand moved the hairs from Koo's forehead and slowly he packed him there. Then Koo's eyes. Koo, I love you so much. I know it's so soon, but when I first saw you, I know I have to make you mine. Even a single breath without you give me pain. So please be mine. I know you want me to. So please say yes and leave the rest to me. I will handle everything. They whispered with tears falling on his cheeks. As they get up to sitting position on the bed, Jungkook looked down, hearing the confession. He can't meet his eyes with Taehyung. He is married and Tae is his brother-in-law. How he will give the reason to everyone? What if his family went against him? That's what he was thinking from the moment he has kissed Tae in garden. But now after hearing Tae's words, it's like all the fog has cleared up and now he can see clearly. He has to stood up for himself. He is ready to accept his feelings. Why should it matter if family does not acknowledge his feelings before? Tae, I also feel something for you, he said, and hid his face in Taehyung's chest. That's enough, it's enough for me to make you mine completely. Believe me, from now on, all your problems are mine, and I will make you the happiest person in this world. I promise. They pulled him closer to his heart, caressing his hairs, but in mind he was preparing himself for what will come next. It is not going to be easy to all the fight for his love, but he will be with his Koo forever. The end. Bye guys, watch more one shots on my channel.